Good morning, everyone. I'm back and I'm wanting to share a garden tour of my backyard today and along the sides of my house. I'm in Zone 6A in Western New York. It's a beautiful morning, very calm, no wind. We had a lot of wind the last couple of days and I wasn't able to take this video, but this morning it seems like the perfect time. And I do have some neighbors behind me who are building a pool house in the backyard, so it's about 7:30, so I'm hoping I can get some of this video taped before the hammering begins. So I'll just start. This is along the side of my house going to the backyard, and I'll start here. This is a blue cushion English lavender. I have two arbors here, or I'm sorry, not arbors, trellises, which I have clematis growing on. This one here is a clematis General Sikorsky. I have struggled with clematis in this bed. I think it's a very hard clay soil in this bed, and also there could be a slight drainage issue. I'm not quite sure, but I have struggled with keeping clematis alive and looking good here, but it's not too bad right now. So I have General Sikorsky here, and I have that combined with clematis Haldane. So I have two clematis Haldane on the inner aspect of the trellis, and on the outer aspect I have General Sikorsky. I also have Supertunia Vista Snowdrift. And behind that, the Supertunia Vista Bordeaux, which I'm sure many of you know always performs so well. I have my euonymus, Emerald Gaiety euonymus. More euonymus. Another snowdrift. Behind here I have a Dipladenia, which is my first year growing a Dipladenia, and I have a little trellis behind it, but I'm not sure if it quite needs a trellis because I believe the Dipladenia I don't know if it grows up like the Mandevilla. I don't think it does. I think it's going to be more of a mounding habit there. And I have another Dipladenia back there. It's a Dipladenia hot pink. And it's starting to wake up and look good. See if I can find a nice bloom on this clematis Haldane. It's sort of done blooming for the most part, but there's still some really beautiful blooms there. And this is just kind of the whole view of this sidewalk here. And now we're going to go into the backyard. Okay, I'm coming along into the backyard. These are gold flame spirea. This is a snow fountain weeping cherry. Which can weep all the way down to the ground, and it has really a beautiful flowering show in the springtime. And the rest of the year, the foliage is mainly green. Underneath the weeping cherry, along the back there, I have 4 yews. The similar ones that I have in the front yard, and I did find out those are Hicks yews. And I think I had mentioned before, they're very slow growing. And these guys here, they don't get as much sun as these two over here, so they're just a smidge smaller. Eventually they'll grow up into a hedge. My little angel that my Aunt Suzanne gave to me many years ago. And here are a couple Stella de Oro daylilies that have just finished their bloom. Still looking beautiful. Let's step out from underneath the weeping cherry here. Okay, we're moving along. This is a little lime hydrangea. And as you can see, it's just getting ready to start blooming. I do have some peonies here that have finished their blooms. Another little lime hydrangea. Okay. This is a limelight hydrangea, so this is a big one. And I actually did not, I usually prune both the little lime and the limelight back by about 1/3 every spring, and I just didn't get to it this year. Life got in the way, so this guy's pretty big, getting ready to bloom as well. Moving over here, along the bottom I have early bird catmint, a nepeta, and that also kind of just got done blooming, and I can come in here and kind of clean it up if I want to. And right above the Nepeta, I have 3 golden Vicari privets, which are beautiful. And I do cut those down every fall too. And they just provide some nice privacy on our back patio here from our neighbors. I have another limelight hydrangea right on the corner here. And just coming down here, I have just a little container, a little purple watering can. And it's called Proven Winners Big Leaf that I have in this container, and it's my first year with this one, and it has a trailing quality to it. I think it gets 4 to 6 inches in height. Not too massive, but just kind of a pretty accent here. And I love the green color. I've been loving green this season. So like I said, I've really been loving just shades of green this season. So I just thought this was perfect here underneath the hydrangea. Okay, now I'm just gonna come up to our patio here. And let's see, I just bought this actually. It's a climbing hydrangea. And I'm excited to plant this out. I'm not quite sure where it will go yet, but I saw them at this local garden center. And I hadn't seen them really at all. And I had been looking for one. My sister-in-law, Kate, and my brother-in-law, Vinny, have one at their house. And I've always thought it was just beautiful, but I never could find one locally. Anyways, I like to, shop and order from my local nursery if I can. And so I saw this one at Northtown's Garden Center and I snatched it up. So I'm hoping maybe I can get a arbor and place it somewhere in the yard and plant this out so it'll grow up the arbor. I thought that was a bee, but it looks like a humongous fly, horsefly. Good morning, fly. Nope, it is a bee. It was a bee. Okay, moving on. So I have these 2 planters right here, flanking my sliding glass door in the back. And these planters, I love them because they're self-watering. I got them, I believe, from Home Depot. I believe that's where I got them from, Home Depot. And they're made from recycled tires. And they have a reservoir in the bottom, right in the bottom there. And you just fill it up along the side, like once a week. And I love that. I don't have any drip tubing for anything in my yard, so the self-watering containers have been helpful. Otherwise, I'm dragging the hose around and filling up watering cans, and that's just how I do it right now. So in this container, I have them planted out the same. I have 2 coleus, kind of as the star of the show here, and it's the Color Blaze series from Proven Winners, and I believe this is Golden Blaze or Golden Dreams coleus, and this one is Wicked Witch, which love the Wicked Witch. And I have an English ivy planted down underneath. And right around back, I don't know, I have a fuchsia, if you can see. A fuchsia, which they're shade loving, and they sort of have a little bit of a trailing, weeping quality about them. A lot of times I see them in hanging baskets, so I just thought I'd pop it into a container this year and see how I liked it. Sorry about the shadow in the sun there. Okay, and then I have the same container over here. Okay, I have a few things kind of hanging out on the side here. This little guy's not doing too good. But I'm sharing everything. So my sister-in-law Tracy had given me this beautiful pink little rose, and I've been watering it, but I think it needs a hole in the bottom. It needs some drainage, and so I might just pot it out into a different container and try and bring that back to life. And here I have another fuchsia in that pot, and I also have a sunflower here that my Aunt Debbie gave to me just recently. She came for a visit from Florida. We had a lot of family in recently, and I'm going to be planting that out real soon too. Okay, we're continuing on with our tour here, and this is my dog Lucy. Can you say good morning, Lou? Good morning. Oh, stretch, stretch, stretch. I have this bed over here, and let me come around this way. Might be a little easier. So I have a pot planted up here. Oh, it's going to show my shadow. Let me do it this way. Okay. Bear with me as I'm very new to, taking videos and getting the best shot. So here in this pot here, I have Truffula Pink Gomphrena. This is Creeping Jenny. And I also have a Dichondra Silver Falls. And I do love this combination. I think it's been really pretty here. It gets full sun. And, all of these plants do well in full sun. Okay, I have some more spirea here. Like I said, I really do love spirea. I believe this is still Golden Flame. Golden Flame spirea. I have 2 here and then 2 over here. And I think when I showed you my front yard tour, they were still in bloom, but they're kind of fading out of their bloom cycle. But as you can see, they're fading out of their bloom cycle, but look at that. The color on the leaf is just so beautiful. That's what I love about spirea, that it just takes on these different hues and shades, and I just think provides a lot of interest, in the spring, summer, and fall. Okay, just coming down my little stepping stones here. I have a Proven Winters. This is called Blondie. It's Blondie Winter Creeper. I have 3 of those. You can see how still it is. Hey, Lucy. don't eat the grass. You can see how still it is this morning because my wind chimes, they're not moving at all. And I have a couple Stella de Oro daylilies here. Kind of, we did mirror in the back a lot of what was in the front as well. We kind of like that consistency. And I love these little hostas. They're called little mouse ears. And you can see that little bee loves them too. I just love the blue color. And get a close up here. I love the blue color, and they're blooming so beautifully right now. And I have, you know, a few more here. And there's a little bumblebee just loving it. Okay, I'm just going to come back this way just so I don't catch my shadow in the shot. This is a candy mint crabapple tree. And in the springtime, I'm trying to think of how it blooms out. It's like a white pink flowering show in the springtime, and with little berries that form. And then it's green most of the other seasons. And obviously will drop its leaves in the wintertime. Trying to avoid my shadow here, so I just came back up onto the patio looking down. And you can see there's the crabapple, another shot, another vantage point, and just right along the house here I have 4 Hicks yews, which I think if I had to do it over again, I don't know that I would plant the Hicks yews, because they are so slow growing. And, you know, it's taken quite a while for them to grow this big. And they're not, these aren't even touching yet, so. But they're still beautiful. Down here, underneath my tree here, I have a hosta planted up. Not quite sure of the variety of this hosta. If anybody knows, can let me know. And this is just a nice little view from underneath the crabapple tree here. And right on the corner here, I have another limelight hydrangea. Okay, here I am the next morning. I got pulled away, unfortunately, yesterday and wasn't able to finish my tour, so I just want to finish the tour of my backyard with everyone. I think I left off with my limelight hydrangea on the corner of the house in the back here. Excuse the air conditioning unit making all the noise, and my dog. Okay, I've got a couple of hosta here. I'm not sure of the variety of those hosta. If you know, let me know. I got these from a neighbor when I first moved in. An older couple who still lives behind us. They separated their hostas and shared quite a few with myself and the neighbor next door to me. Right here I have, this is my Clump Heritage River Birch tree. And I have 4 of these in my backyard. And you can see just how beautiful the bark is. And they're pretty tall. They were about 10 or 11 feet when we purchased them. They're pretty tall now. I have 3 forsythia. That have finished out their yellow blooming for the season. Good morning, Lucy. Good morning. I'm not sure of the name of this grass. We put it in last summer, and I think the tag got accidentally thrown out, but I'm not sure. It could be a Hamlin. Not too sure on that one. And then I have some Jack Frost Heartleaf Brennera planted up in this pot over here under another river birch tree, so it gets plenty of shade. And again, the beautiful bark on this tree. Let's come around. Watch out, Lou. And here's my other Jack Frost Brennera. Heartleaf. Okay, and then we have an ivory halo red twig dogwood. This was also planted out last summer, so this is its second season. And I think it was a little shocked when we first planted it and starting to acclimate to its environment and starting to look better. And I know they'll get big and beautiful. And I had one at my old house, and I used to love the way it swayed with the wind. And then I have some emerald green arborvitae. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I love the emerald green arborvitae. It's such a nice, dense hedge. And eventually these will grow together and provide a nice privacy screen. And here I have Autumn Joy sedum, stone crop. It's just starting to bloom. I have 3 here. You can see it starts to bloom out a lime green, and it'll turn to a pink color. I've heard people say before that it reminds them of broccoli, and I definitely think it does. We have another red twig ivory halo dogwood. This is an endless summer hydrangea, the original. Planted these actually was it last summer? These were planted last summer as well. I have 3 of them. So not too big yet. They're getting there. This is a hydrangea macrophylla. And I think they'll fill out this space pretty nicely. Another dogwood. And we do have 4 Cleveland pear trees that were planted last year as well. So they're still getting acclimated, and they will fill out as well and become more dense with their canopy. In this pot here, I have just a purple fountain grass, which I think I always usually get a purple fountain grass every year and put it somewhere. This year it's just in these pots here. I got a couple flanking my pool retaining wall, and I just you can never go wrong with the purple fountain grass. It's not hardy in my zone, so it's an annual. But I really adore this grass. The plumes they always provide such a nice show. Okay, coming up along the back here. I have not been good at knowing what my ornamental grasses are back here. I saved the receipt, but a lot of times it just says perennial grass, and I think the tag has been thrown out. And you would think, sometimes you think when you buy it, you're going to remember, and then you don't. So if I come across it, I'll let you know. But it's a beautiful ornamental grass, and I have 3 of them along the back here. This is another pear tree. Another Cleveland pear. And here is another planter. And you see the little sign in the middle. The future looks bright, go out and shine. My son graduated high school this year. That was from his party, kind of left over from his party, and I took mostly everything down, but I left this here. And in this pot I have Truffula Pink Gomphrena right here, and some vinca vines. Those are these right here. This is a geranium. And I think that's all I have in this pot. I think this is a violet, it's called a violet geranium, I believe. Even though it doesn't look violet. Another ornamental grass. And right behind it I have a Fat Albert blue spruce, which is really magnificent. I love this blue color. I'm gonna step up here so we can get a closer look. Love the blue color of this tree, this evergreen. And I have another one right over there. So this is their first season. We just planted these, so that's why we've got these stakes up, and they'll be up for a while. Right here I have a crimson cutie barberry, which I know these were, we had barberries in our last house, and then they had a restriction on them because they were doing something with the deer. They weren't good for the deer. So they weren't around for a while, but now they have, I guess these would be, I think, special deer resistant barberries, but they're back out again, which I was really happy to see because I do love them. I love the different shades you can see on their leaves, the maroons and the greens. And these will fill out really nicely too. And then right behind my barberry, I have this beautiful, beautiful pine tree. And it's just gorgeous. This is a Vanderwolf pine. Look at that. So unique. I was just really drawn to it in the nursery, and my husband really liked it too. And I just thought, first of all, it's soft. You feel the pine needles are just so soft, and it just is so unique. So it really just stands out. It's like a specimen piece here. So I can't wait to see how it does. And again, everything is really going to grow out to provide us with more privacy back here, because we really are kind of all surrounded by our neighbors, which we have wonderful neighbors, but it is also nice to have some privacy as well. So this is, like I said, the Vanderwolf pyramidal pine. Amazing. Another crimson cutie barberry. And I'll just move over here and show you what I have on the other end of my retaining wall. There's some rocks here that I don't know what we're going to do with yet, but we'll figure that out. And in this pot on the end, I have another purple fountain grass. And then I have some dahlia here, which I do have to come over and clip off the spent blooms, but this is a dahlia called Dahlietta Emily. They're a little bit smaller. If you can see, the blooms are a little more petite. Beautiful. And I have two, I actually know the names of these grasses here. These are Feather Falls Carex grass. I have two of them right here. And I actually cut on these pretty hard. This is their second season, so I did cut on these pretty hard. Just cut them right down in the beginning of the summer, and boy, have they really have filled out beautifully. Okay, so we're gonna move over here. This is a bowling ball arborvitae. New this season as well. Looking wonderful. And I think this stays pretty much a green color, which I thought was good for this particular space. But there is an arborvitae that I'd love to get as well that I've seen online called the Fire Chief arborvitae that changes colors. So I think I'd like to get a couple of those somewhere in my yard as well. And back here we have 3 more red twig ivory halo dogwood. And I think I see oh yeah, it's a weed. Got it. Satisfied. That's satisfaction right there. These look a little rough because it's their very first season, so they are a little bit shocked with the planting, but they'll come around. They'll look good next year. And this is also a brand new tree. This is a Crimson Century maple. It's supposed to provide beautiful fall color. It does look a little rough right now because it was just planted this season. So it needs to get established, but I have high hopes for this tree. Some of the leaves are looking a little rough right now, but here I'll show you. There's a nice leaf right there, and I think once it gets some TLC and gets established, it's going to look amazing. Another bowling ball arborvitae. My other dogwood. And then right here I have 4 green giant arborvitae. And they will grow together and form a nice hedge as well. And now I'm just right along my shed, and this is Endless Summer Bloomstruck. I've been amazed by this one. Planted last summer, and wow. I mean, the blooms on this are amazing. And even like the blooms that are older, they just don't have that spent look. I mean, this hydrangea, it started blooming probably like really well about 3 weeks ago, and it just hasn't stopped. Really amazing. I'm loving this. So I planted 2. Let me come over to the other one here before I show you what's in my pot. I almost wish I would have planted 3 here, but I think that I want to say they were supposed to get 3 feet tall by 5 feet high, something like that. So I wanted to give them room to really fill out. But oh my gosh, they have been performing. Oh, there's a little spider living in my hydrangea. We'll leave you alone, I guess. They're blooming pink. And I could, maybe next year try and put a little lime down and see if they would change color for me, but I'm liking the pink. There is a little bit of a bluish purple over on this bloom here. But yeah, wow. Just wow. And then right in this pot here I have, this is called Wildberry Heuchera, a perennial as well, and I'll plant this out somewhere, but I just put it in this pot for now, and I just think it's beautiful. Beautiful leaf. Nice color. All right, coming around here, I have another dwarf Alberta spruce that I do have in the front as well. This is Neon Flash Spirea. Another awesome spirea. Mainly green foliage on this one, and it just got done blooming out, and if you could see, it was a very hot pink. If you could see the very edge of this bloom here, it was a very hot pink color, and then, you know, now it's fading out. Really like this one too. And there's my St. Michael the Archangel, who defends us in battle. And my window boxes right alongside, or at my shed area. A little different from the front, but I still have the fireworks grass in the center. And alongside of it, it's called Alice and Heather, and a vinca vine on the end. And I pretty much have the same thing over here on the other side. My Neon Flash, my dwarf Alberta, the little birdhouse peeking out there, and my window box on this side. Okay, I think there's maybe just one more thing to show you. We'll come walking over to the edge of my patio, and then I think that's about it. I hope I covered everything. So I just have some pots planted out on my patio here. A clematis in the middle. I've got Sweet Caroline, Sweet Lime, potato vine. I've got some Supertunia Bordeaux, some vinca vine, oh gosh, I can't remember. This one is, I think it's called A Romance. Can't think of the name off the top of my head. Another hydrangea here from my niece Samantha. This was from last year's Mother's Day, and I had wintered it over in my shed, and it's looking okay. It has some damage to the leaves. I'm not quite sure what this is, but it's looking okay, looking pretty good. And I do have some spent peonies there. Another fuchsia kind of hiding out back here. And I also have hiding underneath here a golden jenny perennial. I'm kind of bringing it back to life because I forgot to water it for a couple of days, and it really suffered, but it's coming back. If you can see, I'm going to give it a nice drink today, and it should come back good. Well, I think that's all for my garden tour of my backyard. Thank you for joining me, and I really hope to see you all soon. Have a wonderful day.